Hello, Shanti. Good evening. Welcome.
Om Shanti, good evening.
Om Shanti Aryan, good evening.
Om Shanti, sir.
The pen is back.
Yeah. Back. Om Shanti Dhanyavan.
Om Shanti, Sanchit Prada.
Welcome back, Danya Ben. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, welcome back.
Thank you, Prada.
Yeah, we'll get to see her soon. And yeah. Great. So, Om Shanti. Today we ought to explore this topic of respect. So the power of respect. It's a simple word. We have all heard it. We all also respect one another. We also respect the self. But what is the subtlety of respect? And how is it important in our spiritual journey? Last week when we were at Peace Village, in the Vyakt Murli that we were revising in a Vyakt Milan, so the main emphasis Baba had was on two words. And Baba said one is Swaman and the other is Samman. Do we all remember that? Right? Baba especially mentioned these two words, Swaman and Samman. Suman really is self-respect, respect for the self. And Samman is respecting others. Right? So we thought to explore this theme of respect a little bit deeper so that we can, how we can inculcate respect. If we really see, like, what is respect? We've all grown, understanding, and we say respect your elders. We say respect time, respect nature, say respect your own body, and respect your resources. It's like having that feeling of respect. So what exactly is respect? What does everyone think? What exactly is respect?
Seeing everybody as soul and हर को मान देना उस बारे में गलत नहीं सोचना.
Not to think negative about anyone, right? Is to respect. Yeah, what else?
Can we say to love and to care?
What was that again?
Can we say to love and to care?
To love and to give, right? Respect. Yeah. What else? Yeah. It's interesting, like, when we look at 7 qualities of the soul, respect is not there, right? In 7 qualities of the soul, it's not there. But, it's definitely in, one of the divine virtues is Devi Gun, right? It's to have respect. Right? And suppose if we go to work, in one position there is a big salary, but less respect. And in the other position there is maybe less salary, but more respect. Where would we like to be?
Less salary and more respect.
And less salary, more respect. Respect is something which is very valuable to us. We all feel, right, wherever there is respect, we tend to gravitate towards, towards that. And really feel respect is, like this energy of zero resistance. Like I'm not resisting, I'm accepting the other person or whoever I'm respecting, right? Be it nature, as they say, respect nature, respect water, don't waste water, or don't waste food, right? Respect it. In the same way, respect time means don't waste time. So respecting really is, and I'm, looking at that particular person or object or any resource in their own, speciality with speciality. I'm not creating any wasteful thought, like you said, about them. It really is to respect. Even kids want respect. Right? One is to love, but the other is to respect.
We could say like respect would be like not taking anything for granted, like whether it's a resource or
Yeah.
like we are respecting time, we are not, taking it for granted, or somebody else that we are respecting.
Yeah. We understand the value of it and
The value, right?
yeah, we don't take them for granted. Right. So, right. Very nice. Very nice.
Also, I think the things you don't like to do to yourself, don't do to others.
Go to others, right? Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. So, Babu also mentioned like respect for the self. What Maya does is it will make us think in a way or act in a way that will take us away from our self-respect, actually. If we entertain any thought of Maya, at the end of it, we'll feel less dignity. And what Baba does is Baba restores the self-respect. So if we follow Srimad, it's like if we are, following Baba's dictates and, following his directions, and actually it's the self-respect is getting restored. There is a little clip. It's a very interesting clip. Let's watch. It's about a very simple way to understand respect.
Morning class. Please take your seats. Today's a special day. I've got something special for each one of you.
Is the pop quiz
Correct, Mr. O'Brien. A pop quiz. You have 20 minutes to complete the questions on this test, starting from now. What is it this time, Mr. O'Brien?
Professor, it seems like there's a question on this test that doesn't belong on this test, or any test for that matter.
And which question is that?
Question 4, what is the first name of the woman who cleans the school?
I see some of you think I made a mistake, or maybe
Huh?
You can all the captions.
Oh, there is a camera. Oh, okay. Good.
Morning class. Please take your seats. Today's a special day. I've got something special for each one of you.
is the pop quiz
Correct, Mr. O'Brien. a pop quiz. You have 20 minutes to complete the questions on this test, starting from now. What is it this time, Mr. O'Brien?
Professor, it seems like there's a question on this test that doesn't belong on this test, or any test for that matter.
And which question is that?
Question 4, what is the first name of the woman who cleans the school?
I see some of you think I made a mistake or maybe added question 4 as a joke. But listen closely to this. In your lives, in your careers, you're going to meet many people, and they're all significant. Each one deserves your care and your attention, even if all it is a smile and hello. Because respecting each other, that's what comes first. Everything else comes afterward.
That was a simple kind of a lesson, but a very deep, I felt. He said, we all got this video, right? So he had a surprise question, and the question was, what is the first name of the lady who cleans the school? And everyone was like, how is this even relevant? But then the professor said that wherever we meet, everyone requires our attention. And so he said, like, respect comes first. Everything else comes later. And I really felt that is such a deep message. Like, even in our interactions, we may, talk a lot, but is my, first gesture towards anyone that of respect? I may even be saying the right thing, but if it is not in a respectful way, it may create conflicts, right? But if I am saying whatever, but if it is in a respectful way, right? Like even Brahma Baba used to respect so much his children. Like one Jagdish Bhai was saying, like this was after Brahma Baba had left the body, that he was somewhere, and then one sister came and she said, कि आपको ना वो बड़ी बहन बुला रहे हैं. तो बाबा भैया वो जगदीश भाई ने कहा, okay, I'm coming. But then Jagdish Bhai said, when Brahma Baba was there, the way he would say it, he would say कि बाबा ने आपको याद किया है. It's the same thing, but in a different way. Like, it's more respectful. Right? It's in the second way, Baba aapko yaad kar rahe hai. It's like out of respect in that way. And the first is, aapko bula rahe hai. Aa jao jaldi, aise like that. It's a simple thing. But if there is respect, then there is, it's like that much more connect that there is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Like someone said, right? Like if I'm going to my office, let's say, especially in India, right? Because we meet so many people. If I'm taking an auto or a cab, the way I'm interacting with them, the way I interact with the peon, the way I interact with my colleague, and the way I interact with my boss, is it the same? Or is it, I have different ways of communicating each one based on their position, right? Mm-hmm.
Family in office and same sort of thing.
It's like sometimes we may not even, pay that much, give that much respect to, let's say, a peon, for example. In the sense, like we may not even smile at them. We may just ignore their presence. But yeah, real soul consciousness is actually respecting the soul. Once we respect the soul, that's real soul consciousness. We are going beyond the labels and the boxes that we generally put one another in. So really the ability to look beyond the obvious, or to, generally if someone has done something good, we'll respect them. But what if someone has made a mistake? Do we still respect them? And that's the vision that God also sees us. We've all have a baggage of so many lives. But then when God, interacts with us, he never sees that baggage. He always sees the potential in the soul. And that's how he interacts with us. Always say, sweet children. And then he will elevate our self-respect. You are the star of my eyes. You are angels. You are deities. And that's how we slowly start to live up to, his vision for us. So there is a nice quote here. It says, you're valuable just because you exist, not because of what you do or what you have done, but simply because you are. So, the true respect is not because I have done something or I have not done something, right? I have something or I don't have something. True respect is really, just because, I exist. And as a spiritual being, I belong to God, and I am an eternal being. And just because of my existence, I'm worthy of respect. Right? And in the same way, every soul is a child of God. Every soul is worthy of respect, no matter whatever the role they are playing. Right? But there has to be that inner sense of respect. There is a little story around it. It says a man with a lamp. Once upon a time, there was a small town. There lived a man by himself who couldn't see. He was blind. Yet he carried a lighted lamp with him whenever he went out at night. One night, as he was coming home after having a dinner outside, he came across a group of young travelers. They saw that he was blind, yet carrying a lighted lamp. They started passing comments on him and made a fun of him. One of them asked him, "Hey man, you are blind and can't see anything. Why do you carry the lamp then?" The blind man replied, "Yes, unfortunately I am blind and I can't see anything. But a lighted lamp which I am carrying is for the people like you who can see. You may not see the blind man coming and end up pushing me. That is why I carry a lighted lamp." The group of travelers felt shame and apologized for their behavior. Moral is, we should think before judging others. Always be polite and learn to see things from others' point of view. It was a nice story. Right?
Very beautiful.
How easy it is to judge someone. And many times, like unconsciously even, we create judgments. And that's where our respect comes down for the other person, right? Yeah. And there's a little video about how we create, sometimes unconsciously, these judgments about others. Let's take a moment to.
A man was waiting at an airport for a long-distance flight. His flight was delayed, and so he had a little spare time. He saw a deal on some cookies and thought he should treat himself. He bought quite a few cookies because he thought it might be quite a long delay. He took a seat near a man and started to read the magazine he also picked up earlier. He exchanged a glance with the other man and then tried to avoid eye contact as he went back to reading. While he was engrossed in his magazine, he happened to see that the man sitting beside him boldly grabbed a cookie from the container. He initially ignored the incident to avoid a scene. He grabbed a cookie himself and went back to his magazine. But the man seemed to have enjoyed the cookie so much, he took another one and started eating it too. This continued for a while, and with each passing moment, he began to get more and more irritated. Every time he took a cookie, so did the other man. When the last cookie was left, the man nervously took that cookie and broke it in half. He offered the other to the man and smiled. The man took the cookie and could not believe the other man's nerve. He was thinking in his head, how ungrateful could that man be? The other man then left and took the container with him. This guy couldn't believe what had just happened. He was relieved when his flight was called. He gathered his belongings. As he lifted his bag, he saw that there was a full container of cookies right there. He was totally shocked, totally surprised. It caught him off guard. He thought to himself, if my cookies are here, then wait, those cookies were his. The other man had shared his cookies whilst he was thinking he was the one doing the sharing. Whilst he was angry and irritated, the other man was being generous and kind. He felt so bad for what had happened, but he couldn't find the other man anywhere and didn't know how to apologize. Things are not always as they appear. Sometimes we make quick assumptions about people, circumstances, and situations. We judge them, label them, and put them into a box, not recognizing that there is a much bigger picture. Sometimes we meet someone in a particular state, stage, or phase of their life and stereotype them to be a certain way. Don't be so quick to judge. You never know when you might find yourself walking in someone else's shoes. And remember, the best apology is changed behavior.
Very nice.
Very good.
Yeah, that was a simple incident, but that's so true, right? It's and even if we were in his shoes, we may have thought the same, right? But it's so easy to create assumptions, right? And that's where I feel Baba's teaching is practical soul consciousness, not to stereotype people, not to create labels, just to accept everyone, without any conditions. And that's why, we all talk about unconditional love, but can we also have unconditional respect? Right? Respect, regardless of, how the other person is, or like I really like the way he shared in this video, like, We don't know someone in which phase of life they are, what has gone, in their life, what has happened in their life. But we become too quick to judge. And the moment I judge anyone, including myself, I stop respecting them and I stop respecting myself. Right. There's another little story. Let's watch this. In this story, we may have heard it before. Is a young couple moved into a new neighborhood. The next morning, while they were eating breakfast, the young woman saw her neighbor hanging the washing up outside. That laundry is not very clean. She doesn't know how to wash correctly. Perhaps she needs a better laundry soap. Her husband looked on, remaining silent. Every time her neighbor hung her washing out to dry, the young woman made the same comments. A month later, the woman was surprised to see a nice, clean wash on the line and said to her husband, "Look, she's finally learned how to wash correctly. I wonder who taught her this." The husband replied, "I got up early this morning and cleaned our windows." Right. And so it is with life. What we see when watching others depends on the clarity of the window through which we look.
The lens with which you see.
Yeah.
Beautiful message.
It is a simple message, but many times we forget, it says, so don't be too quick to judge others, especially if your perspective of life is clouded by anger, jealousy, negativity, or unfulfilled desires. And so, if my vision is falling on something, anything that is not right, anything that is negative, the first thing I have to check is inside of me. Like, why is my vision falling on something which is not good? If I'm noticing something which is not good, it really means that I have not cleaned myself, like my inner eye, It's not filled with empathy, it's not filled with compassion, it's not filled with soul consciousness. Somewhere I've started, judging or boxing the other person. Right. Mm. Mhm. And so there is a nice quote. It says, don't judge others. You are not perfect. Right? Don't judge others. You are not perfect. Right? So if I myself am not perfect, who am I to judge others? And that's why Baba always says, Baba hasn't given you or anyone the duty to judge. Baba says always to become judge of the self and to give the benefit of doubt or become a lawyer of others. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Um, And that's why it's so much to do with, this boundary between inner and outer worlds. And it's so much all about our inner world that we are projecting outside, really. Yeah. And sometimes we say, oh no, but the other person doesn't deserve, my respect. How can I give respect? And so there's another nice quote around it. It says, show respect to people even when they don't deserve it. Respect is a reflection of your character, not theirs. So it really, that's what they say, first give respect always. And then when I give it, then I receive it. If I try to first receive it, I would never get it. Right? It's like the more I give, the more. It's all to do with my own, state of mind. And that's why Baba said, like, the more I am in Swaman, the more I can actually give Samman. And it's not the other way. The more I am in Swaman, like I am respecting myself. I am aware of my truth, of who I am, and who do I belong to? Who is it that has taken control of, or who is it that is guiding my life? And then it becomes, very easy to respect everyone else. There's another nice story around this. Let's maybe read the story. This story goes like this. 4 silent friends. There once were 4 friends who enjoyed meditation. One day they decided that they would observe silence for 7 days. They each vowed not to say one word during those 7 days. Since they wouldn't be speaking, they decided it would be wise to hire an assistant for those 7 days to attend to their needs while they spent their time meditating. Their silence began early the next day. Although they did not speak at all, the entire day passed fairly quickly with no problems. That evening, the assistant lit an oil lamp. As time passed by, the oil got less and the light from the lamp got dimmer, but the assistant's attention was somewhere else. Seeing this, the first friend couldn't help himself and shouted, "Attend to the lamps." Listening to this, the second friend said, "Have you forgotten you're not supposed to speak?" Just then the third friend piped up, "You fools, why are you talking?" The last friend exclaimed, I am the only one who has kept silent. Right. More or less. So we understood the story, right? They all were supposed to be in silence, but something happened, and one after the other, each one broke their silence, right? It all started why? Because they started to judge the other person. We sometimes judge very quickly, forgetting that we too are not perfect in our actions and behaviors. Right. And so that's why it's, the more I realize I am on a journey, I am, trying to improve myself, and so is everyone else. And not to judge anyone based on their, current state of, or their current stage. And that's what Baba always used to do, Like Baba would always see the, complete eternal story of the soul, and not just, see the present state of the soul. Right? That's why Baba would always see the deity form, the angelic form, not only see the current form where the soul may be struggling with some sanskar, but that's not the whole truth. That's not the entire picture, right? That's why Baba keeps reminding us of our eternal story, of who we are, who we were, who we will be, and not only of us, but of all the souls in this world, right? So that it's easier for us to hold on to that eternal perspective. Mhm. Does it make sense? Mhm. Mm.
Yeah, very nice. Beautiful.
There's another little video, and it's about, how easy it is for us to carry different labels, different, identities, how we create, and how it interferes in us having self-respect and giving respect to others. Mhm. We kind of connect to this video. So what do we learn from this? What is the key message here? Mm. Mm. Really, like, no matter what our baggage is, what kind of labels we carry, but once, we feel loved, and that's what God does, right? God loves the soul unconditionally. And the more we taste God's love, the more it's easier for us to get rid of all those labels. Right? And then the soul feels self-respect. And then the soul can actually give respect to others. Right? Otherwise, there is always this, like in that video, it was, I do something, I get a label, this is who you are. Right? And that's what always, it happens in this story world. They're too quick to create labels. Maybe not for others, but for the self. I've done something, okay, I'm this. I've not done something, I'm this. Right? And all the baggage, this is the baggage that actually we carry. And when Baba says Vikram Vinash, what is Vikram? Really is this, all these different labels that we have created. All this makes the soul heavy. Right? Mhm. But then just, Baba reminds us every day, no, you are loved. You are loved. Right? Mhm. And that's what pure love from the divine allows us to completely let go all the external, things. Mhm. Any thoughts on this? Anyone would like to add? Yes.
Shanti. Thank you, Saurabh. I particularly, this will always wait for Thursday session. And I was missing it for last 6 months when I was in India. So
We were missing you too, so it's good to have you back. Yeah. Mhm.
mm, power of respect, I think, yeah, Baba, every day, every second, even in the Murli, even in this Thursday sessions, have some points to answer any question which is going on in your mind. So it happened to me just now. The first example itself, when it said that less salary, more respect, or more salary, less respect. And because I'm currently in a phase where I'm building my team. So I realized, because I'm a startup, and how much this can help, the respect we can provide to them. And this is, I think, that's the reason they are still surviving with me as in the stage we are. It's been a year. So yeah, it's a beautiful talk. Thank you. Respect should be everywhere. Everywhere, even with our mind, like anywhere, environment, family, to the bed, to the bed sheet, to everything. So, thank you. Oh, sure.
Any other thoughts? Anyone would like to share? Sure. So thank you for joining. Let's take a moment. Meditation. Om Shanti. Have a good rest of the evening. Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Sarabhai. A very beautiful.
Thank you,
class.
Sarvpratham. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sarabhai.
Thank you, Saurabhai. Thank you, Saurabhai.
Thank you. Shanti.